going on, everybody? Augment Dan here. We are in Warframe update 16.4. This is the overview. Let's talk about some of the stuff that's going on in here. Let me get into the market here first. As you can see, the Tonkor. This is the new weapon that just came out, new primary. Hurl mayhem and destruction at the enemy with this Tonkor grenade launcher. So grenades from this grenade launcher explode on impact and use their blast to propel yourself to new heights, more or less. So let's take a look there. You got puncture damage, you got a base blast, you've got accuracy of 12.5. So okay, so we've got puncture damage as a base, a 75. Interesting. We've got blast on here that's a base 325. So we've got elements already. We've got a critical chance at 35%. Very interesting. I think we can do some stuff with this bad boy, and we'll look at that there in a moment. Actually, let me come over here and see. There it is for 30,000. Okay, there's your blueprint set up. 30,000 to buy it, and 60,000 additional credits. 800 cryotic, 1,500 salvage, 2 argon crystals, and 200 oxium. Nothing too far out of the ordinary. All should be fairly easy to get. Well, credits can be expensive. I have enough credits. I think I'm good there. And the argon crystal can be a little of a pain. Shh, Lotus. Shh, you're in my way. I'm making a video here. Okay, so in terms of that, that's what we've got there. Now, next up, we'll have some new mods here. We got a new Kubro mod. Shelter. Provides a shield when the owner is reviving an ally, so I'll have to try to find that one. We've apparently got 2 new augment mods, so let's come back here and take a look at both of those new augment mods just so you can see them. Let's come over to the augment page. So first up, we've got Shields of Shadows for Necros. Okay, damage done to Necros is shared with his shadows. At the base here, you're gonna, within a 50 meters range, each of your Shadow of the Dead clones, whatever you want to call them, will take 3% of the damage done to Necros instead. Now, if we go ahead and we max that out, so at max rank, they're gonna take 6% of the damage done to Necros within a 50-meter range. So that's actually not too bad when you consider how many of the shadows you got up there. What is it, 12 or 15 now? So you could eliminate some of your damage, mitigate some of your damage, if you will. Let's just cancel that for now. I'm not ready to go through to doing that at the moment, of course. And then we've got a new Chroma one, Vexing Retaliation. So Vex Armor Augment, taking 150 damage will trigger a 4-meter burst. Shield damage will cause a puncture proc, while healed health damage will cause a blast proc. Maxing that up, let's see what we've got here. We still got the same 150. Trigger a 9-meter burst now. So it starts with a 4-meter burst and it goes up to a 9-meter burst, but the damage is still the same. It looks like 150 damage. So that's going to be interesting to play around with in terms of that. Looks like there's some new alternate helmets available in the marketplace. So let's go over there, if we shall. And hopefully you kind of like this new setup here. So we've got the new Armu Chroma helmet. Interesting looking. Okay. And we got the new Ovis Mesa helmet. That looks pretty different. I'm not really sure what I'm thinking there at this point, but, you know, we've got them, so we'll work with them. Apparently, there's also some new portrait icons available in the marketplace. New portrait icons. There they are. Grineer portrait icons. So, you know how you have your Oberon or your Loki. Oh my god. Limbo or any of those. Now you can replace that with a Grineer one. It's pretty interesting. Comes with a ballista. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm not even gonna bother saying it because I'll catch hell for it anyway, and I'm going to catch hell for just screwing it up. So, whatever. Anyway, that looks like what is inside the marketplace. So, let's come over and let's grab the... And it's ironic because I was working on Necros, so I was just finishing up a build with Necros. Whoops. And so now I've got to rework it with the new Shadows mod and see how that plays out. So we've got a new weapon in here somewhere. Where are you hiding? Under letter T. There it is. Okay. Upgrades. Let's see what we got. We've got 0 Forma, 0 slot coverage here, so it's a blank plate that you can do anything you want to do with it. Alright, with that said, let's keep talking about some of the stuff that's going on in this update, and we'll put some gameplay on, I guess. Let's get into the fun times with this and do some gameplay while we talk about the rest of it. New Conclave mods are out. So we got Nyx Absorb Singularity, which creates a ring every 3 seconds that drags an enemy at 9 meters per second. That'll be interesting. We've got what they're talking about here is something they're calling gradual change. Diminishing returns versus pure ability immunity. So, for those unfamiliar with this term, diminishing returns is when an ability becomes less and less effective against an enemy over time. When the original designed bosses and mini-bosses in the game, a lot of them had pure ability immunities, making your Warframe's abilities ineffective in battle. They've slowly been experimenting with diminishing returns, so many bosses and mini-bosses now in Warframe are affected by diminishing returns, which include like Captain 4, Lefantis, G3, and some more. And instead of being outright immune to crowd control, these bosses will actually gain improved resistance to them with each successive use. So this is going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. So this update expands on the number of Warframe powers that fall under diminishing returns to this. And with this change, we will monitor power use across each Warframe to ensure that every form of crowd control is given fair play against enemies, whether the ability is a timer based or relies on energy drain. So that sounds pretty good. We'll see how that plays out. I mean, obviously gonna have to play around with some of the bosses and see what that is. We've got additions here. We've got using a waypoint HUD marker in a squad will now show numbers corresponding to each member of the squad. The squad HUD information now shows a corresponding number to each player to identify the host, which will be number 1, and then the significance is after that 2, 3, 4, as well as make waypoint markers easier to correlate. So if I'm a host and I'm number 1 and I drop a waypoint marker, it's going to have my number on it, so you'll know that it's me telling you and so forth. Number 2, number 3, number 4. There's new sound effects for hacking has been added. A default colors button has been added to each arsenal customization color instead of a full restore to default, returning a weapon, a Warframe, or accessory back to its default colors. This will allow your prime attachments to shine in the default gold we showed them with, and that should be nice to see. And this will fix issues with energy colors not showing well when using abilities. So that'll just be something to kind of play around with the default colors. We all love to play around with the colors of our stuff. Syndicate allies can now be given a hold position and a follow command that can be issued with the context action, similar to giving a rescue target your secondary. So this can be done at the start option in a mission for players that wish to progress in a mission alone or coordinate the movement of their Syndicate allies. So Syndicate allies have been re-enabled in rescue and spy missions in case some users want them, but if not, you can put them in a hold position at spawn and proceed alone, which should be nice because many of us think that they are what is killing us 9 times out of 10. And I can tell you 9 times out of 10, I get killed by things because they're with me and I don't really want them around. But sometimes they're nice to have on things like defense missions and stuff, so it's not bad. But a lot of these missions that you can solo, it's just not wanting to be there. And of course we talked about the Grineer portrait icons. Some Conclave changes in here. New Conclave map, the Lost Halls. Nyx and Nyx Prime are now usable. The Bratton Vandal is now usable, which is interesting because the Bratton Vandal was usable before. At least for me it was. Added a audio cue when 4 total captures have taken place across a match, reminding players that all energy dispensing locations now give 50 energy. Energy dispensers will now produce orbs of 50 energy at 5 minutes remaining in a match, and maps will now shuffle in PvP, giving more of an unpredictable variety. Increase the respawn time for energy orbs from 25 seconds to 45 seconds, so much longer in terms of energy. Decrease Lex's damage. Decrease the damage of Mag's pull. Increase stamina consumption when blocking with all bow weapons. Reduce the damage of all bow weapons. Increase stamina drain when blocking with the Gram. Increased energy cost of channeled melee hits from 5 to 10. Increase the damage of all Strun and Boar weapons. Reduce the damage of the Dax Dekra. Let's see what else we've got. We got a Volt. Electric Shield is now more visible when used with dark/black energies. Melee weapons no longer get a headshot bonus in PvP. This is all PvP, remind you. And the following weapons have now been balanced for use inside of PvP. So you can now use the Sabaris, the Carrack, Kraken, the Viper, the Ahlström, the Ack Viper, Wraith Viper, and Tigris. Ooh, nice. Martial magnetism changes. Extra stamina cost is now applied to missed swings. And magnetism is not applied to a target if you do not have full amount of stamina required to attack. And let's just quickly talk about some changes, and then there's a whole bunch of bug fixes. Of course, you know this is posted on the Warframe forums. You know it's posted on the Everything Warframe nogcommunity.com page and the Update 16 blog. And of course on the forums.nogcommunity.com, you can find it there. Increased a credit reward and available mods in Vor's Prize Defense Mission Quest. Players AFK during defense missions that fail to choose continue between rounds will be defaulted to extract. Oh, well, that's actually not a bad thing. Now you're being defaulted to extract, well, if you're an AFK player anyway. Slightly improved hit effects to kunai impact visuals, but I know what they did there, so you're going to go AFK, you're not going to be able to come back later on, 15 minutes down the road and say, okay, I want to participate, now I'll start getting my rewards. No. What they did there is they went, screw you, you're out of here. And that's actually not a bad thing. Increase the visual effects of the Satura dual Cetra shots. The limit on DNA detoxifiers that can be applied to Kubros on a given day has been removed. Thank you. Made various PVR updates to Grineer structures. The Raptor will now drop neural sensors instead of organ cells, so another place to go farming for neural sensors is on the Raptor. Rebalanced enemy difficulty in the Vor's Prize quest. Remove some of the larger connecting rooms from the Corpus Outpost tutorial tile set. Caches discovered in tutorial missions will now provide 500 affinity. Ooh. Default color will now be kept with backing out of a color in the color picker. Updated audio FX on the Bratton Vandal. Oh, you did not fuck with my Brando. Oh, man. Oh, man. We're going to find out about that. Reduced the audio effects of the dual Razas, blade sounds. Made various reverb tweaks in the dojo, Corpus Gas City, and Corpus Ice Planet tile sets. The unreleased EMP Aura mod is no longer tradable. Nathaniel has been renamed the Sergeant of all VO elements of his encounter have been updated to reflect the change. Okay, and made some various localization changes. And of course, there's a whole bunch of fixes. I mean, a bunch of fixes. So feel free to check those out, of course, on the forums, on the Nog forums, on the nogcommunity.com, everything Warframe page, And you have any comments, questions, please do feel free to leave them below. Otherwise, stay tuned. Of course, we will go through the augments. We will go through the new Tonkor. And yeah, we'll get into some of that stuff. Till next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon.